Good morning, everybody. It's 11 o'clock. It's a beautiful day in the villages, and we are here doing a song called Pretty Paper. And yes, it is a Christmas song. And this one was a single hit Christmas song in 1963. It was actually first recorded by Roy Orbison. Willie Nelson wrote it. If you take a look at who wrote it, it was actually a Willie song. Willie recorded it himself in 1964. And then again, he recorded it in 1979 for his very first Christmas album, which the album was also entitled Pretty Paper. So this is a country waltz. So how do you find country waltz at 80 beats a minute on your instrument? Well, if you are on an easy 4 or an easy 10, it is waltz guitarist. Waltz guitarist. That's going to give you your country. I'm Nope, I think I'm wrong. I think I said that wrong. It's going to be waltz pianist. That's going to be your country background. So it's got to sound really country-ish. And yeah, it is waltz pianist. My mistake. I don't make mistakes. And I'm writing for you. I did hand write out a really simple introduction, but what we're going to do on the intro is we're going to do a two-fingered right hand chord, and we're going to hold the top note, and we're going to walk down the notes with a second finger on your right hand. So that's going to be probably the most fun part of the song. So you don't have to worry about using an introduction unless you want to. If you want to use an introduction that your instrument already has, you will do it with a G chord. All right. I'm just going to do a no chord so I can get the feel of 80 beats a minute. And I just used the second ending.
Oh, okay.
I just used the second ending. There's a first ending there to take you back and do the entire thing. Actually, not the entire thing. You should go back to the top of the second page and do the chorus a second time. So yeah, we'll go over the roadmap, but it's a
Donna,
super easy song.
what was the rhythm?
Country waltz.
Oh, it is country waltz.
Country waltz. So you go to your waltz and you just go to waltz
Okay.
one. Country waltz is the second one there.
Okay.
Yep. Now, don't be afraid to try other waltzes and try other things. Okay? So that's going to be part of the lesson. But the first thing we need to do is let's do the roadmap.
Okay.
All right. So we played all of the first page, and it's just a nice Christmas song. Crowded streets, busy feet hustle by him. Downtown shoppers Christmas is nigh. There he sits all alone on the sidewalk, hoping that you won't pass him by. Okay, we're not quite sure who he's talking about yet. So there's your first ending. It's more than a line long. So at the end of your first ending, you have some dots, sending you back to the beginning for the second verse. Should you stop? Better not, much too busy. You're in a hurry. My, how time does fly. In the distance, the ringing of, okay, right there before the first ending. Whoop. You're going to put a colorful 2, and then you're going to trace the 2 down on the last line. So you know the second time you go down to the last line. The ringing of laughter, and in the midst of the laughter, he cries. Okay, so is it a homeless guy? Is it a guy ringing the bell? Is it one of your Salvation Army guys? I think it's a homeless guy. I don't know. And then you have the chorus. Pretty paper, pretty ribbons of blue. Wrap your presents to your darling from you. Pretty pencils to write, I love you. Pretty paper, pretty ribbons of blue. That's the chorus. And so that can be a different color on the dots, and the dots take you back to the top of the page. So we really don't know who the guy sitting alone crying is. Maybe it was Willie, yeah.
Daun,
Maybe it was Willie. I don't know. I have no idea who he meant by that.
Daun,
Yeah.
he wrote that song about a guy sitting on the streets selling paper, Christmas paper,
Oh, okay.
and
that
his
makes
legs
sense.
his legs were amputated.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. How'd you know that?
Well, I had some trivia here. I had that song before,
Okay.
and so I was reading that, as you were talking to, but
Perfect.
he moved with rollers, selling paper and pencils in front of Leonard's department store to attract the attention of people. The man announced, "Pretty paper, pretty paper."
Oh, got it. Okay. Well, that makes perfect sense
Ah.
now. Yeah.
Huh.
And now the song actually has more meaning.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that was.
Thank you. Thank
That's kinda
you.
cool.
Okay, so the country waltz makes it very willy. Makes it very willy. I would keep it as a waltz, but I also did this in guitars 3/4, which would be your guitar 3/4 on your smaller instruments as well. And I'm using actually presets 9 and presets 8. So that gives me a flute duet and some vocals, and it also gives me piano and strings to end it on. So same thing. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but we'll just get a gist for how it sounds on a different waltz. And so I did a few extra things
Yeah.
just to make a few changes. Now, is anybody noticing a little echo that I'm putting in?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Little echo, and I'm putting that in several places, not every place that you're holding a note, but the echo I'm putting in line 1, right after it's measure 1, 2, 3. It's actually going to be at the beginning of the 4th measure. By him. And the echo is the same 2 notes, the B and the D. Now you can play it in a different octave wherever you are. Or you can take your other hand and play it on the opposite keyboard. Depending on the presets that you have, you can use that second hand to make that other echo, and that way you can hold the note while you're doing an echo.
Mhm.
The next time I did it is line 3, first ending. Sidewalk, the E and the G. Sidewalk. Put it in the next measure, the measure where you have the held dotted half note. I just write the word echo, and you're just going to repeat those 2 notes.
Dawn, what was the tempo?
Tempo on that was 84, so anywhere between 80 and 84 works very well.
What was the tempo on the other one?
80. The first one I did was 80. The
Okay.
guitar's 3/4 was 84, so they're basically the same.
Okay.
The last line on the first page, you have a second ending. Right there where it says laughter, the next measure I did an echo. But be careful because you have to play those pickup notes right away too.
So the echo after the laughter?
After laughter, yep.
Okay.
Yep. You might want to actually do that with your second hand so that you can get those pickup notes. Okay, also, that's the last time I did the echo, but I also added some harmony when I got to the chorus.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah.
Added some harmony to make it bigger, and I used a golden harp the second time I played it. So that's just another tool in your arranging toolbox to change up your background a little bit. Now I could have also gone to alter style. So when you get to your chorus, you might just want to hit alter style and see if it does anything better or different to make it work. I thought that the golden harp enhanced it a little bit nicer.
Mhm.
Okay, now I have another one that I played it on. I went to Lullaby, which is one of my favorite Christmas waltz backgrounds, because it comes up with that beautiful music box. And what's the #1 sound for Christmas? Bells. So if you want to make it sound super Christmassy, go to Lullaby. Now I am on 84 with Lullaby. Fill in. Okay, are you getting some good
Very
ideas on how you can play this song yourself?
Mhm.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
couldn't use that rhythm, could you, with Willie Nelson and Roy Orbison singing it? Could
Hmm.
you?
Which one? The country?
The one with the bells, the lullaby rhythm.
Oh, yeah. Well, I could take those bells. I could take those bells that I'm using
I
and
think it's
put them
good.
on the country waltz.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So how would I
But
do that?
I'm
I would have
saying
to.
that the artist singing using that rhythm and the bells, it'd be kind of like,
Yeah, you
working
can do that
against
too.
each
This
other.
is this is part of what Christmas is about. Is if you find something like I like that music box
Oh,
sound.
I do too.
Yeah,
Me
but
too.
if you play it on the same background all the time, it's going to start
I
to
don't
become a
think I
little
asked
redundant.
Willie Nelson to sing it though, using
Hmm.
lullaby.
So if you don't use the lullaby, but you want those bells, how do you transport those bells from one rhythm to another?
Right,
You have to
right.
save them in a preset.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you just go memorize. I don't know if I have any empty. That's my problem, is I don't know if I have any empty setups. With style, no. With transpose, no. Memorize, turn it off. So now hopefully it's in 10. I may have some other rhythm already in there, so that could mess me up. But now I'm going to go to the country waltz, and let's go to country waltz. Come on, hurry up. All right. And I want to put in E10. Okay, that worked. There's the Willie background. And I've got the bells on top now. Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so you just take the sound from one rhythm, save the sound to a preset that you're not using.
Yeah.
Okay, do not do with style. Do not do with style. You just do
Oh.
boom, boom, no style. And then turn your memorize off. Then go to your rhythm that you want. Then you touch, I'm on E10 for my, that's where I put my sound. So now I have the country waltz background, but I'm using E10 like it's a category preset. So now I've got
Oh,
the
okay.
sound that I want.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you could just go to your bells category. Those of you that have a bells category
Okay.
could go to your bells category,
Bingo.
okay? And then 1 through 10 are going to be pretty bells. And I can stay on my country waltz. All your bells.
Looks like sounds like the handbells.
All your bells are there. So you try all 10 of them and see what you like. Yeah. Wow. Bells number 10 is going to give you big carol on bells. But you can do that. You can use those bells. You can use those bells anywhere that you want. So I can take that country waltz and put bells in, and yes, mix and match. Well, what if you don't have presets that you can memorize in? There's some big sales going on between now and the end of the year. No, if you've got the smaller instruments, you have bells and you have vibes, okay? And you can do several things with those bells and vibes. You can add some strings to them, you can add organs to them, you can put a guitar with your bells or vibes, You can put a piano with your bells and vibes. You can put strings with your bells and vibes. So you can have several sounds that you want to use for Christmas already in your playbook. You just have to know which buttons to push to get there. And you can use that then with any of your rhythms. Any questions? That's it. That's the lesson today. It's short and sweet, but it's just a wonderful song. You don't have to work really hard at it. The chords are exactly as written. There are no extra chords, so no worries. I will give fingering.
Wonderful.
Dawn,
So, yeah.
how, how do I turn my presets all into bells on a
Oh, you go
marquee?
to category. Make sure you turn on your category.
Category? Okay.
Make sure the on button is on. Then touch
Yeah.
the other button and look in the window.
Oh,
Did you find them?
like magic.
Yeah.
That was easy.
See, you learned
Yeah.
your one thing today.
I did. I would have never found that without you.
Oh, gee, yes, you would have. Yes, you would have. Don't give me that much credit.
You
Yeah.
just won't forget it after you find it, David.
Yeah. Yeah, they're there for you to use. It's a wonderful thing. All right. If you don't need fingering, thank you so much for coming. We will do, because Susie wants to do Rocking Around the Christmas Tree next week, Friday. All right. So,
That
yeah.
time and-
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, here we go with
Actually,
fingering.
that's very popular this year, Rock Around the Christmas Tree.
That's what
Yeah.
I've heard. Yeah. All right, here we go with fingering. B1, C2, D3, D3, E4, D3, E4, D3.
Hey, Dawn,
Yeah.
excuse me, could you start over, or are you starting on with the intro, or,
No, I'm not starting with the intro.
okay,
Nope, I'm just starting with the page. Yep.
okay. Could you repeat them, please? I got
I most certainly can. It's going to cost you, though, Joanne.
lost. Okay.
B1, C2, D3, D3, E4, D3, E4, D3, B1, D3. Check mark. Lift your hand, reposition it. G2, A3, B4, G2, C5, B4, A3, G2, G2, A3, B4, B4, D5, B4. Now if you can't reach that, change that to a B3, okay? But it works better if you do a B4, D5, B4. You can do it. A3, G2, first ending E1, G2. Next line, A3, E1, F sharp 3, be careful there, G4, F sharp 3, C sharp 1. You have to reach down to that C sharp. E3, D2. So that is a little bit tricky, that phrase right there, so just be careful with that one. Then your pickup notes at the end of the line are B1, C2. The second ending, E1, G2, D1, G3, A4, B5, G3, E2, D1, B5, A4, next page, G3. At the end of that held G, check mark. B2, C3, D5, B3. I'm sorry, what do I have? I think I have a 2 there.
A two.
Whoa, I don't want that one. Okay, I made a mistake here. Let's go back to pretty paper. B2, C3, D4. I'm sorry.
Stop, or should I call back another time?
B2, B2, D4, E5, D4, B2. Couldn't read my own writing, that was the problem. D4. Wrap your presents. A1, B2, D4, A1, A1, B2, D4, C3, D4, third line B2. At the end of that held B, check mark. B3, C4, D5, B3, A2, G1, B3, D5. Next line C4. At the end of that held C, check mark, lift your hand. B5, A4, G3, D1. B5, A4, D1, B5, A4. First ending G3, check mark. Your pickup notes B2, C3. And the second ending, your last G, is a 3. It's just a nice song to play, and thank you for the background on that, Susie. That makes all the difference in the world when you know what the
Yeah.
song is about.
Yep.
Yeah, there was actually 2 versions of that. That was Willie Nelson in 1964, who saw the man. But then it said in 2013, newspaper identified the man as, whatever his name is, refused to use a wheelchair, using instead to crawl as he learned to move while growing up after his legs were affected by a spinal disorder.
Oh, wow. Oh,
And he sold pencils in Fort Worth, Texas and Houston.
wow.
And he suffered from a childhood meningitis. And while both legs below his knees were atrophied, they were not amputated. But the other version was Willie Nelson, who walked by this man, which was in 1964, and he was amputated.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't know who to believe, you know?
Well, it's probably two different people.
Yeah.
Could be two
Anyway.
different people with similar things.
They have
Sure.
interesting lives.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we're going to do
Hey,
Rockin'
Dawn.
Around the
Thank you,
Christmas
dear.
Tree next week.
Have
If
a
you have
good
any
weekend.
questions, give
Dawn,
me-
before you go, would you
Yeah.
mind just playing the intro one time just so we could hear
Yes.
it?
Very, very much I would do that for you. 1, 2, 3, rest, rest.
It's pretty.
It's very
Thank you.
easy. Very easy. The hardest part is holding those 2 notes and then just walking that one finger down. And that is one time I'm going to allow you to do thumb, thumb, poke, poke. Normally you're not allowed to do that, but when you have to hold a note, you're allowed to do thumb, thumb, poke, poke in that case.
Yep.
That's the only time.
Dear.
You guys are awesome.
Dawn. That was very nice.
Yeah, it was a pretty song.
Yeah.
Something that we don't often do, so it was a nice change.
It is.
Rockin' around the
Thank
Christmas.
you.
Rocking around a Christmas tree next week. Yes, 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 yes.
150.
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
your
Dawn.
weekend.
Thank you.